Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you for subscribing. And it is September 24, 2025. I wanted to bring something to your attention. I'm on a mailing list for class action lawsuits. You never know when you're entitled to money. So anyway, with this class action lawsuit, have you been denied a job based upon a background check within the last 2 years? If you were rejected after an employer ran a background check, or did you get a job and then get fired because of the background check? If yes, you could be entitled to substantial compensation. According to the FCRA Adverse Action Statute, employers must follow strict rules when taking a negative action against someone based upon a background check. Let us help you determine if your rights provided by the FCRA were violated. We will review your potential claim free of charge. Fill out the form on this page to get started. I'm not part of this, but you may. Denied a job based upon a background check. Let me show you. Now, I do not post outside links in my description section. And any links that you post in the comments section will be held for review. In case your comments disappear, that's why. So anyway, this would be join class-actions.com/class_actions/denied-a-job-based- on a background check. Let me show you. So all you have to do is go to joinclassactions.com, class actions, and search for the denied a job based upon background check. I thought you guys might be interested in that. And I wanted to read. Yesterday I posted on a post, I was sharing some information from James Harken's channel, dated June 14, 2017. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have read it, but some people just aren't interested in reading, so I thought I would read it to you. And I am having technical difficulties here. I'm having difficulty with my downloader. And my fan was destroyed. My laptop fan and the battery case was destroyed by these criminals because they're losers. So, and I'll have a unique thumbprint for this post. So this is sharing from James Harken's channel, June 14, 2017. Gangstalking is very likely a disinformation term created by the U.S. intelligence agencies. It refers to the intense, long-term, unconstitutional surveillance and harassment of a person who has been designated as a target by someone associated with America's security industry. Honestly, guys, when I was placed in the program, I don't know anybody in any of these security industries. But I'm sure the jealous loser girls and my former attorneys are familiar with America's security industry, as well as those narcissistic celebrities that I was involved with for a while. So such operations have nothing to do with criminal gangs. Official domestic counterintelligence operations of this type are apparently perpetrated by secret society members, federal agents, and intelligence security contractors, sometimes with the support of state and local law enforcement personnel. Unofficial operations of this type are apparently perpetrated by private investigators and vigilantes, including former agents and coppers, some of whom are members of the quasi-governmental Association of Law Enforcement Intelligence Units, which is LEIU, sometimes on behalf of corporate clients and others with connections to the public, and private elements of America's security industry. So it all falls back to the America's security industries, which, by the way, has been confirmed by whistleblower Brian Coffrin, also known as Justin Carter. His videos are on my channel. The goal of such operations is, in parlance with the counterintelligence agencies, is a disruption of the life of the individual deemed to be an enemy or potential enemy of clients or members of a security state. You know, like the feral cat cartel. Oh, yeah, we know all their little deep, dark secrets. How they're banking millions of dollars on cats they don't even rescue. Yeah. Oh, how about the ones that they delete? Yeah, all in the name of TNR. And excuse me, because I've got phlegm in my throat. I don't even know where it came from. This is the first time I'm actually speaking out loud today. So arguably, the most accurate term for this form of harassment would be counterintelligence stalking. Agents of communist East German Stasi state police refer to the process as Zersetzung, German for decomposition or corrosion. You know, sort of like how they corrode your brand new screws and nuts and bolts around your property. It could be a brand new item. It could be, you know, stainless steel or galvanized steel, but suddenly it's rusted. So yeah, it's called corrosion for a reason, a reference to the severe psychological, social, and financial effects upon the victim. Imagine somebody wanting to do this to another person for their entire lives. What does that tell you about the individuals behind this? American and British victims have described the process as a no-touch torture. And by the way, just so you know, guys, there are no time frames for torture. Okay, so you can file a claim. There's no expiration date. You know, all of your cities and towns, you've got to file within this amount of time. When it's considered torture, there are no legal limits. Okay, it's any time of the day or night, next year, this year, 5 years from now, makes no difference. I'm like the name escaped me. The terminology just escaped me. A phrase which also captures the nature of the crime: cowardly, unethical, and often illegal, but difficult to prove legally because it generates minimal forensic evidence. Well, in my case, that is not the truth. That's not true. Not true. Tactics include, but are not limited to, slander, blacklisting, mobbing, quote unquote, intense organized harassment in the workplace, black bag jobs like residential break-ins, abusive phone calls, computer hacking, framing, threats, blackmail, vandalism, street theater, staged physical and verbal interactions with minions of the people who orchestrate the stalking, harassment by noises, and other forms of bullying. Yeah, this is bullying on steroids. Both the facts and the geographical distribution of relevant published news reports, as well as other evidence cited on this website, suggest that such stalking is sanctioned and in some cases orchestrated by federal agencies. However, news reports, credible anecdotal information, and my own experiences indicate that such stalking is also sometimes used unofficially for personal and corporate vendettas by current and former corrupt employees of law enforcement and intelligence agencies, private investigators, and their clients. So let's say you've got a feral cat cartel member. They don't want you to know who they are, even though you have a phone number that was in your phone that just suddenly disappeared when they called you at 7 p.m. on a Friday night. Yeah, when all the employees were gone. These people give themselves away every day, so what they do is they will hire a private investigator, like in Red Bank, New Jersey. They'll hire private investigators, and then they'll get your name on a list, and through the private investigators, they hire other people and other people, and then they go into the community, slander your name. Like they go to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian says, well, I can't give you a vet appointment because you're not friends with my friends. Well, how would I be friends with your friends? And how would you know that I'm not friends with your friends? And who actually are your friends? That should have been my question of the day to Dr. Rebecca Caleb Wilson in an Annville veterinary clinic who refused veterinary care for all the cats that were pregnant and dumped on my property here. Which, by the way, when I move, since they're not my animals, they won't be coming with me. And Dr. Rebecca Caleb, you can come and pick up all the cats that were left behind that are not mine, that were not spayed or neutered because of you. Yes. And because of all the criminals dumping animals on my property, including raccoons. You can come and get those too. Since counterintelligence stalking goes far beyond surveillance into the realm of psychological terrorism, it is essentially a form of extrajudicial punishment. As such, the harassment is illegal. Even when it's done by the government, it's still illegal. It clearly violates, for example, the Constitution's Fourth Amendment, which prohibits unwarranted searches, and the Sixth Amendment, which guarantees the right to a trial. Such operations also violate similar fundamental rights defined by state constitutions. Stalking is also specifically prohibited by the criminal codes in every state in America. Crimes against Americans at the hands of corrupt government agents and private security thugs have a long history in the United States. The FBI COINTELPRO counterintelligence program scandal in the 1970s was the most notorious, high-profile example, but similar abuses of power by red squads, which are the state and local law enforcement intelligence units, and private detectives date back to the 19th century. So thank you, James Harken, for this very erudite explanation. It explains it really a lot better than a lot of us have managed to concoct together, except the fact that, well, you know, under these agencies, like my favorite Bureau of Investigation, you know, the FBI, they have their own secret force, InfraGard memberships. They're non-profits. Yes, if you go onto the IRS website and look up InfraGard, you will find a list, and you'll find pages and pages of InfraGards across the country. You can see where they're located, where they filed, and there are hundreds of them. And they all report to the FBI. And they all just manage to have an income, use the word income or assets of $50,000 or less, because, you know, if it's more than that, then they have to file a special, long form. But don't you think it's really interesting that they all they're filing the same claims? Where's that money coming from? Oh, that's right. I think they have to pay a fee, sort of like the Freemasons. You know, when you join, you have to pay a fee, like a membership fee. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's monthly or annually. I mean, I'm sure it's not a one-time fee, because they wouldn't be making any money if it's a one-time fee. And I would imagine that membership is low. People can't afford these membership fees anymore. But yes, so InfraGard is part of all this. They all report to the FBI. And these are a lot of the criminals that are former military, retired military. Maybe they were injured when they were in the military. Maybe they would not so wonderfully discharged, but they'll be working for InfraGard, and they're the ones that are breaking into your home and vandalizing your property, including the private security industry people, because that's what they're trained to do. You know, these black ops coming in and out of your property. It's like when I go into my cat's building, they're in and out of my house. How do I know? They'll go into my bedroom and they knock all my clothing on the floor. Or they'll decide to knock the towel off of my shower rod, which was clearly secured there. It would suddenly be on the floor to let me know that they've been in and out of the house. Or I'll come into the house and my kitchen sink will be loaded with gnats or little crawly things. Ants, usually. Yeah, because these are demonic losers. These are the little teeny weeny boys. Just as Kay Griggs, the former military wife, she basically said it in a nutshell. She says these guys, these military guys, first of all, they're very immature. You know, they bring them into the military, they're 17, 18 years old. They just snatched out of the hands of mommy and daddy and brought into the military to be brainwashed, you know, because their brain is still developing until the age of 23, so they're bringing them in at 17, 18 years old, perfect prime time for brainwashing by the military. Teach them how to be order takers. They're not working for you and I. But anyway, so what Kay Griggs said, and she is hilarious, and I love this woman. She's basically said, well, the military, and this is from her husband, who was always in a drunken stupor, kept a diary, that the military, they're all perverts. They're mostly homosexual, and they have nothing against gay guys, except the ones that want to be women. That's a problem. You're either a guy or a girl. That's not just my opinion, because I'm old school. So she says that they're perverts. They like to play pranks. They hate women. They're very immature. And what else did she say? Oh yeah, she says they're at the very least, at minimum, they're bisexual. But she says most of the time they're homosexual. They just marry women to have a facade. Oh, and we had somebody like that here in Kentucky also. Not remembering the name right now, but this is a couple of years back. And how do I know? I was just looking for something else on the internet, and it just pops up that this military guy, he had, what do you call those channels? He had a special channel where he was, you know, flaunting the fact that he was a gay guy. Of course, he didn't tell anybody that he was married, just that he was this hot-looking military guy. But he was married, and he was married to a military woman. And evidently they had children and a dog and stuff. Well, evidently she finds out and is going to out him. And instead, on their own security cameras, you catch him live taking her down. And then coming out, reloading his weapon, and going back in to finish her off. Yeah. That's here in Kentucky. Yeah, but nobody's going to tell you about that but me. Yeah, so yeah, this military guy, he was doing the dirty on the side, married to a woman who was also military, and she finds out about his dirty deeds, his secret channel, what is it, Tinder? I don't know what it's called. You know, wherever gay guys go to pick up men. I have no idea, I'm not a gay guy. So anyway, and he's dressed up there and posing and stuff, and you see him, and her family finds out all of this later and gets him imprisoned. Yeah, so this is what happens. Don't lie to your wife. Listen, if you're gay, be gay. Don't marry a woman unless you tell her. And this is what happens. The woman finds out, gonna out you, and now he's in prison. The kids have no parents, and she's gone too. I mean, how stupid. Be who you're gonna be. Don't be a liar. Don't be a cheater. Don't be a sheeple. Anyway, that's my little rant for today. Thank you, James Harken, for this piece on gang stalkers. Oh, and by the way, thank you, perpetrators. Thank you, all you little perpy derpy doopy doos. You know, how the video that I posted about the gang stalker confessions, I mean, we're nearing 5,000 views now. And I guarantee it's not, I'm guaranteed it's most of you guys curious about what secrets have been told, you know, because you're leaving these stupid comments in the comment section. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for blowing up that video, little gang stalkers. We've got a great thumbnail for this video. I'm looking forward to posting it now. So I hope everybody's doing well. Remember to subscribe and like, share. And thank you everybody for your support on this channel. It helps the channel grow and get the message out there. And I'm going to sign off for now.